YouTube fam, welcome to Athena Virtuous channel and another astrology episode with me, Athena. In this video, I'll be talking about the last week of October and the first 10 days of October as well. So I'm going to touch base on what's going to happen at the end of October, specifically about the Mercury-Uranus opposition and the Grand Water Trine, Three-Eye Atlas, and the full moon in Taurus, and then finally Mercury retrograde. I'm not going to delve too much into Mercury retrograde, but my focus really is about the opposition that Mercury is going to form with Uranus and Mercury and Mars, obviously, because Mars is entering into Sagittarius as well. I'll be getting into that. So as I mentioned, I will talk about Three-Eye Atlas. You might have heard of it, the comet, or whatever you want to call it. I'm sure there are, well, not I'm sure, I personally watched so many and listened and did research about it and listened to other, physics scientists who talk about it in details, and I searched about it in NASA, on NASA website, and other astronomers as well. So let's get started. And as you see in the chart here, this is the chart, as you see, of October 25th as I'm recording this video. Quite frankly, I'm not sure how long this video is going to last. Hopefully not too long, but I will be definitely unable to cover everything I wanted to cover in today on the 25th. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, so this is the 25th of October, as I said, and I'll be touching base briefly on the water grand trine, as you see, or grand water trine, really. As you see in the chart here, you'll see Jupiter on one side at 24 degrees and 41 minutes, Mars and Mercury on the other side of the water trine, and Scorpio. Obviously Jupiter is in Cancer at 24:41 minutes, and Mars at 23 degrees and 7 minutes, Mercury 26 degrees and 5 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. And then on the other side we see that Saturn in Pisces at 26 degrees and 6 minutes. Now this grand water trine was already formed a couple of days ago by really Mercury. Mercury is an exact trine with Uranus, with Saturn, okay, at 26 degrees. Mercury was in trine a couple of days ago with Jupiter, exact, but the trine's still there, okay, the grand water trine. Okay, and we see here also now Mars is joining the celebration or the party, Mars and Mercury are still in conjunction with one another, and I've spoke a lot about Mars and Mercury conjunction in my previous episode, and the chaos that might create. Well, they have already created lots of chaos, but anyways, so Mars now joining the party, and will be in the will be involved in the water and the grand water trine with Jupiter and Saturn. Now you see also there is a mini trine here formed between also Saturn, okay, at the very top here, Saturn and Neptune, actually, Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus is in Gemini, and Uranus is retrograde. Now, before I talk about this trine and what we're expecting of this grand water trine, Okay. Take note that both Saturn is actually Saturn and Neptune both are already in Pisces, but both are retrograde in Pisces. Okay. Uranus is also retrograde, is in Gemini, but will be entering into Taurus very soon. Okay, you see, is Uranus now is on the border, okay, on the cusp, like between at 0 degree and 30 minutes Gemini, but will be entering into Taurus for the last, I guess, party in Taurus for the next 13 years. For the next 7 to 8 years. Neptune stays in the sign for 13 years, but Uranus 7 to 8 years. And Jupiter is at 24 degree and 41 minutes, is forward, but Jupiter will be going retrograde November the 11th. Okay. And, Mercury and Mars are both forward in forward movement, but Mercury will go retrograde on November the 9th, will station retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, and I spoke about it briefly in my previous episode. But the most important thing, which is I'm going to talk about in details, is that Pluto is now moving forward in the sign of Aquarius. Okay, and as we all know, Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years, and there will be a new generation born during this 20 years where Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius. Okay? And also a new generation will be born when Uranus is in Gemini, but I'm focusing now on Pluto in Aquarius. Obviously, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So anyways, let's go back and talk about this grand water trine, as you see in what I'm indicating to with the virtual pen. Okay, grand water trine between Jupiter in Cancer, Mars and Mercury in Scorpio, and Saturn and Pisces. Why we call it grand water trine? Because it connects the water signs. Okay, so this grand water trine will be affecting or will be triggering our emotions and feelings because it's water, and so was our spiritual connection to the divine. Okay, and the metaphysics, all hidden realms, if you will. Okay, remember, Jupiter is related to faith, higher knowing or higher knowledge, exploring other horizons. Saturn is related to faith as well and legality, and Mercury is related to our intellectual abilities. And Mercury in the ancient mythology is considered to be the messenger of God. All right. So what does that mean? And Mars is moving forward and once again joining the party. So what does that mean, and how is this going to affect us? Well, this is all related to smooth sailing, things that's going to be facilitated, falling into our laps, will be empowered by the giants, the Olympians, Jupiter and Saturn. Also, even though Uranus and Pluto, they're not involved direct into this grand water trine. They're rather in, it's a mini trine. Okay, it's not really a trine, it's a sextile from these sides. Saturn and Pluto are sextiling one another, and Saturn and Uranus are in sextile, but Uranus and Pluto are forming a trine as well. And as I mentioned before, many times, trine is a Jupiterian aspect, which means everything is going to be falling into our laps easily with minimal efforts. Okay, so in other words, these giants, Uranus, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and these two personal planets, Mercury and Mars, are all involved in a trine. Okay, so they are smoothing up or facilitating some sort of actions that we're taking. All right, now let me tell you guys, whether it all depends on your intent, your intentions, whether you have positive or negative intentions, depending on your if you are of high vibrational frequency or lower vibrational frequencies, and your intent, as I mentioned, this is going to manifest. All right, so if you are of high vibrational person, things gonna come to you smoothly, things positive things that you're trying to do, you're helping, you're sharing, you're being generous, you're being kind, you're taking actions in science, things related to higher knowledge, things related to as I said, science, or maybe finance or trade or e-commerce or technology, things related to legal matters. It's going to come to your favor. Now, if you are of lower vibrational person, as I said before, especially with Mars and Mercury. Now, Mars and Mercury conjunction, not necessarily 100% negative. Once again, it all depends on your vibration, but it could very much be impacting you in a negative way, depending on your intentions and the intentions of the people you're dealing with. All right, so because as you see also that Lilith is very close to Mercury, and in the previous conjunction which happened last week between Mars and Mercury, Lilith was in the mix as well. Okay, it was in the mix. It was a triple conjunction. Now, if you notice, which is I'm going to talk about shortly, the opposition that's forming between Mercury and Uranus shortly. But let me just focus on one topic at the time. So this grand water trine will bring abundance, prosperity, will facilitate travel, legal matters to you, will bring healing. Okay, will strengthen your faith and belief in the divine. If you are of a certain religion, will strengthen your belief system as well. And this is all very beautiful, very cool. Things will come and fall into your lap easily with minimal effort, depending once again on your intentions. Now, let's move into the Mercury and Uranus opposition. So in this chart, which is, okay, let me go back to the 25th because I want you to see how Uranus and Mercury are headed towards the opposition. It's already started, and as I mentioned before, guys, million times, the energy, it doesn't happen exactly on the same day, even though in this instance Uranus is involved, which means Uranus is because it's about shocking, unpredictable events. It's going to be triggered on the exact same day as well, when this during the exact degree opposition, but the energy is building up from today, from the 25th, and actually even prior, because as you see here, Mercury at 26 degrees, so it's literally 4 degrees away from the exact opposition. And Mercury is a fast-moving planet. So the opposition has already started, the energy is building up, and it's intensified as we getting into closer and closer to the exact opposition, because also Mars is going to be forming an exact opposition with Uranus. And guys, I kid you not, this is not going to be an easy thing at all. And I'll tell you why in a bit. Okay, so let's move into the 28th. You see on the 28th here, let me just clean the chart here. All right, so as you see in the chart, this is October 28th. Mercury is getting closer at 28 degrees and 44 minutes. forming a position, and any aspect, it happens or it starts from, I would say, 6 to 5 degrees away from the reaching the exact degree of the aspect, whether it's trine, whether it's sextile, opposition, square, or even conjunction. All right. So, for example, what do I mean about that? So you see 24, 28, 24. Mars is at 24 degree 48 minutes Scorpio, and Mercury 28 degree and 44 minutes in Scorpio. This is still considered a conjunction. It's 4 degrees apart, but it's still conjunction, even though you would say, oh, but Mercury is separating from Mars, but Mars is following Mercury, okay? Mars is chasing Mercury here. So Mars is looking for trouble. Is telling Mercury, hey, I'm chasing you, I'm following you. Mars is entering Sagittarius as well, all right? So the energy is not dissipating. The energy is still building up of this conjunction. So whatever happened a couple of days ago, if you got into a fight, okay, in a physical fight or physical abusive relationship, it's going to be triggered again once Mercury and Mars conjunct again in Sagittarius, and they will. And at that time, Mercury is going to be retrograde, guys, and it's not going to be fun at all, okay? You're going to be visiting the same issue that started in Scorpio when Mars and Mercury both formed a conjunction. And let me tell you guys, yes, there were fights, there were arguments, and there were physical volatile, encounter. Physical abuse happened, violent abuse happened. Okay, so this is going to be revisited again. And as I said, Mars is chasing Mercury. So Mars is not giving up. Mars is not giving up on his rights, on what he wanted to achieve, what the action is taking. All right, so it's going to be revisited again during Mercury is in retrograde. The conjunction still happening. It's not a separation. It's still the actually in my knowledge, I can guarantee you things that's going to get worse. It's not going to get any easier. Now, if it's related to work or it's related to research or something like that, once again it gets intensified. All right. So, but anyways, let me go back to the opposition, and what makes it more intense or intensified more and worse, to be perfectly honest, is the opposition that's forming towards Uranus. I'm not trying to fear-mongering anybody here, but truth to be told, all right? Even though we have Jupiter trining these two planets that they're forming the conjunction, trying to smoothen up, trying to make it easy, trying to simplify it, trying to heal it. Jupiter is trying. There could be some sort of healing. There could be some sort of forgiveness. All right? But the energy is still building. It's getting worse and worse. We can't ignore that. We can't rule it out. All right? Now, also, you will notice that Venus eventually is going to form a T-square with Jupiter and Pluto. I'll talk about it after, but let me focus on this Mercury, and Uranus opposition. Now, this is the chart of the 28th, as you see here. Mercury is 2 degrees away from entering into Sagittarius, the fire sign of Sagittarius. All right. Now, Mercury and Mars, as I mentioned in a previous video, it's also about intellectual ability. It's getting also more intensified, searching for truth, searching for proof of anything, right? Finding truth. Sorry guys, just 1 second. It's getting cold here where I am, so I'm just gonna bring my blanket, my throw actually. Okay, finding discrepancies, finding or revealing information, finding truths, as I said, researching, speaking up, but this energy, it gets more intensified once again once it enters into Sagittarius. Remember that Sagittarius is actually ruled by Jupiter and is all about higher knowing, is all about exploring, finding new horizons, about faith, and about also travel and legality and legal system as well. Okay, guys, I promise I'm gonna stick to my notes. I have lots of notes and I don't want to be scattered, but that's the energy of Mercury. Now, as I mentioned before, Mercury will station in the sky on the 9th of November at 6 degrees, which is ruled by Virgo. All right, and then will be in retrograde motion until the 29th of November. So now we are in the shadow period, the pre-retrograde period. So the next 10 days, it's a pre-retrograde. It's a shadow period before the retrograde, before the 9th. All right. Which means you gotta be careful how you speak, what you say. You gotta watch all your transportation tools, your communication tools, your gadgets, your computer. Try to back up all your system. There could be things get lost, things misplaced, things taken away from you, or some gadgets that's not going to work, or they're going to be glitch, because remember, Uranus is involved here. Uranus rules electricity. Uranus rules also the telecom sector. Just like, remember that Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Both of them rules air signs. All right, but let me just before I get too much scattered, because if you remember, guys, I mentioned before that I am kind of ruled by Mercury, even though I am Cancer, but because Mercury conjunct my rising, and it's very close to my sun as well. So in Cancer, I am very much, affected by Mercury. So I don't want to be scattered. We're entering into the shadow period, and Mercury enters into Sagittarius. So there are going to be lots of scattered energies around this time. All right. So let me just go back to my notes. So one step at a time. So Mercury is technically, let me switch to the 29th, as you see in the chart here. So this is the 29th of October. Let me just clean the screen. And I'm sorry, guys, you need to follow what I'm saying. If you're following my channel, if you're interested in intuitive astrology, I'm your girl here, helping you to understand astrology and explore the metaphysics and the mystic realms, okay, and spirituality. So, okay, let me go back. So this is the chart of the 29th of October, as you see here, and I'm using AstroSeek website. I love this website for all my illustration. But anyways, so as you see here, Mercury is at 0 degree and 21 minutes in Sagittarius. So just ingress into Sagittarius, exact opposition. This is the exact opposition I'm talking about. It's going to happen on the 29th of October. All right. And I'm going to link this event with something else that's happening, that's being watched. Things in the sky, the 3-eye atlas. Okay. But let's take it one step at a time. So Mercury is entering to Sagittarius on the 29th. Mercury in Sagittarius, let's forget about the retrograde now, all right? Let's focus on Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury technically is the planet that rules and influence our intellectual ability, all right? Mercury is the messenger of God. Mercury is all about our connection to the divine, our inner connection with our higher self. So Mercury is about curiosity, and Sagittarius also is about curiosity. Both of them are interested in exploring other horizons, exploring technology, exploring other methods of doing things, of achieving things, right? So Mercury here, when it comes into Sagittarius, will bring about curiosity, the desire to advance our knowledge and religious pursuit. It also urges us to explore different horizons, whether physically or intellectually. All right. So we don't have, what does that mean? So we either travel physically, wanted to travel, the desire to travel, or we travel intellectually or spiritually. All right, so in our brain and our mind, connecting to the spiritual realm. Mercury into Sagittarius also brings about interest into advance in scientific subjects and subjects related to history, ancient civilization, and geography. All right, so this is self-explanatory. The intent also to seek higher education and share our wisdom and knowledge with others and speak our mind. Because remember, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is all about sharing. All right, Jupiter is the greater benefic. Jupiter encourages us to share our wealth, our knowledge with others. That's why if you approach any Cancerian around this time, you approach them because of the energy of Jupiter in Cancer. You feel that, and this is out of your hand. Even if you at one point in time say, oh, Cancer is just a kind creature. Cancer are kind, they know nothing. But no, with Jupiter in Cancer, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, Jupiter can't be any happier, any placement, even if it's in Sagittarius or Pisces, it's always the happiest in Cancer. All right, so here with the energy of Jupiter in Cancer, you feel that you're gaining knowledge and wisdom from Cancer. So that's what attracts you to Cancerian. All right, because you know that you're going to get knowledge and wisdom from Cancerians. All right. So with Mercury entering into Sagittarius, this is going to be intensified. The intention to seek higher knowledge, higher knowing, connection with the divine, exploring other horizon, travel either physically or intellectually, it's going to be intensified. Now, what you need to pay attention to is Mercury is in the shadow period and is going to be retrograde on the 9th, or station and then go into retrograde on the 9th. Mercury is entering the sign that it is detriment in or debilitated in. All right, what does that mean? We all know that Mercury rules Gemini. Okay, Mercury rulership of Gemini is in a position of the sign. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Mercury is entering the sign that's in a position of Gemini. Sagittarius is the 7th house of Gemini. All right, the house that rules business partnership, relationship, all kind of partnership, including enemies and romantic partnership. All right, which Sagittarius is in opposition to Gemini, opposing Gemini. All right, Mercury debilitate or in detriment here. Remember when I spoke about the sign in detriment? When the sign enters into a sign that's in opposition to the sign it rules. Let me say it again. When the planet, like in this instance or in this example, Mercury enters into Sagittarius, the sign, which is Sagittarius, in opposition to the sign, which is a Gemini, that is ruled by that particular planet. All right? This means that the planet is going to be in detriment. Means its energy is not going to be focused. The energy is going to be scattered. Okay? The energy is going to be confusing. The energy is going to be disruptive. The energy is going to be weak. All right? I wouldn't say weak, but it's going to be, and especially, okay, let me rephrase that. It's not going to be really weak, but it's going to be, in order to function the way it is supposed to, it has to embody the energy of the sign that's entering in, or the ruler or the planet that rules the sign. What does that mean? It means in order for Mercury to function properly, it has to embody the energy of Jupiter, because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. It has to also embody the features or the traits of Sagittarius in order for Mercury to function properly. All right? But the problem here, all right, is that Mercury is going to be in retrograde motion for the entire month of November. And the thing is, Mercury is going to reach a certain degree. I can't remember. I'm going to talk about it further in the next episode. I didn't take note of that. But Mercury will be in retrograde in Sagittarius. And then it's going to go back and re-enter Scorpio in a retrograde motion, and will be direct on November the 29th in the sign of Scorpio. So it's going to revisit and I mentioned that in my previous video, it's going to revisit the conjunction degree that happened back in October between Mercury and Mars, which I spoke about it, and it happened last week. So Mercury will go back in retrograde motion in the sign of Scorpio until the 29th of November. And Mercury will be entering into the sign of Scorpio on November the 19th, and will remain in Scorpio in a retrograde motion for 10 days until the 29th of November. Then it'll go direct in Scorpio. Okay? So now that I spoke of the logistics of Mercury, Mars, and Uranus, let's talk about the traits and the rule, what these planets rule. I'm not going to talk about Mars. We spoke about Mars rulership before multiple times and how it's going to impact our lives. But before I talk about the traits and the rulership, I have mentioned that Mercury is the ruler of Gemini and is entering the sign that's in opposition to Gemini, which is Sagittarius. Mercury also rules Virgo. All right? Mercury rules the sign of Virgo. So, what does that tell you? First of all, these three signs, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Gemini, are mutable signs. So was Pisces. All right? And forming Mercury, which rules Virgo and Gemini, forming an opposition with Uranus. So right away, when I speak about this, we understand that the signs that mostly will be affected by this opposition, this explosive opposition, and I'm sorry, I don't take this slightly. I am dead serious about this opposition. This is not a beautiful opposition. If you see here, Mars is approaching a 25 degree, and literally Mars is chasing Mercury. Mars is following his intellectual abilities, his mind, his curiosity. Mars is trying to make sense of what's going on around him. All right? And when I say Mars or Mercury, this is the energy that's going to impact. Number one, the signs that it rules. So, let's go back to Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, which means this opposition will be affecting Virgo and Gemini, number one. All right? And then Sagittarius, because Mercury is entering into Sagittarius, number two. And last thing is Pisces, because it's a mutable sign. So let me say that again, and I'm going to give it to you in the right order. The signs that's going to be affected the most are Virgo and Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. In the same order as I said. All right? It'll be affecting particular 200%. All right? Virgo and Gemini of early degrees. 0 up to 6, 7 degrees of Gemini and Virgo, 200%. To the extreme. And I kid you not. All right? 0 to 7 degrees of Sagittarius, and 0, I would say, to 5 degrees of Pisces. Pisces, I would leave it till the end, because Pisces is getting the blessings of Jupiter. Because Pisces is trining with Cancer. So the energy of this opposition that affects mutable signs, it's going to be at lesser degree affecting Pisces, even though Pisces is a mutable sign. So going back to the degree impact, 0 to 7 degrees of Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius, the most to the extreme, going to be affected by this opposition. I would say 24 degrees of Scorpio up till 29 degree and 59 minutes Scorpios. Why? Because this exact opposition is already forming, and it started off when Mercury was still late degrees in Scorpio. Remember this chart here, Mercury 28 degree on the 29th of October. On the 25th of October, Mercury is at 26 degree and is headed towards the opposition. It's 4 degrees away from the So you Scorpios, you are already affected by this opposition. Once again, the energy is building up and it's getting worse and worse. It's getting more intensified. Let me stay away from the word worse, even though I do see it getting worse, but it's getting more intensified. All right? Now, who else is going to be affected by this? Uranus rules Aquarius. So 0 up to 7 degrees of Aquarius going to be also affected by this energy. All right? So if you listen carefully and pay attention to what I'm saying, you understand and you are following what I'm saying. I gave you the signs that's going to be affected the most in the appropriate order. So I'm going to say it again. Virgo and Gemini, they're going to be affected by the energy nonetheless, all degrees, but to the extreme, 0 to 7 degrees of Virgo and Gemini, and 0 to 7 degrees Sagittarius, 100%, and then 24 up to 29, 59 degrees of Scorpio, and 0 to 7 degrees Aquarius. The sign that's less affected by all of this is obviously Pisces, because it trines to Jupiter. Now also Scorpio, because it's a water sign, it's going to be smoother and a little bit easier on late degree Scorpio, because once again they trine with Jupiter. So Scorpio and Pisces, they have the blessings of Jupiter. Okay, they have the smooth or the less effect of this opposition, because they trine with Jupiter in Cancer. But Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, Aquarius, they're gonna be unfortunately impacted the most, especially 0 to 7 degrees of these signs. All right? It will be definitely affecting Taurus and Leo, late degrees Taurus and Leo. So from 24 up till, because look at Uranus here. Uranus at 0 degree will be affecting at least 24 degree up till 29 degree, Taurus, 100%. All right? 0, because Uranus is retrograde and is entering into Taurus. So late degrees Taurus going to be affected by this opposition, and late degrees, Leo as well, going to be affected by this. So I would say from 24, 23 degree Taurus, Leo, and 24, 23 degree Aquarius as well, going to be affected by this energy. And I'm sorry if I said, quite frankly, Aquarius is going to be affected regardless, because they are ruled by Uranus, but in particular, late degree, 100%. Okay? Late degree Aquarius, they are going to be affected the most, but all Aquarius, because they are ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is in opposition. Now, what makes it even worse is both Mercury is in the shadow period prior to the retrograde, but Uranus is already retrograde. All right? And when the sign is in retrograde, it will be emphasizing the negative quality. It's going to be revisiting certain, events that happened during the forward motion, but it will be triggering the negative qualities of the planet. All right. So now, this is the logistics, as I said, of this retrograde. Let's talk about what the traits and the qualities. So we all know that Mercury rules all kinds of communication, right? Telecom sector, communication tools and gadgets and high tech and all, like computers, laptops, cell phones and all kind of emails, social media, mainstream media, all kind of telecom sector, all right? And the tech sector, transportation 100%, vehicles of all kinds. When I say vehicles, not necessarily cars, but cars, trains, airplanes, because remember, Mercury rules air signs, okay? So anything in the space, and Uranus also rules the space and spaceships and all that cool stuff. So, and planes as well. So planes 100%, so transportation and transportation methods, e-commerce, trade, and so on and so forth. All right. So all that I mentioned above is ruled by Mercury. Now, Sagittarius, on the other hand, is related to travel, higher education, teachers, legal system, and faith and religious matters as well. So, and it's funny, guys, why I'm saying that, because every time Mercury goes retrograde, Canada Post, which is the mail service providers here in Canada, they go on strike. All right? And what makes it even funnier is that, and yes, Canada Post is in strike now. If they were in negotiation, they're still in negotiation, but it keeps getting worse and worse. All right, in Canada here, and Canada Post is a government funded. Anyways, I don't want to get into the politics and stuff like that, but yeah, Canada Post is on strike here in Canada. But not only that, Sagittarius rules teachers and professors and stuff like that. In one of the provinces here in Canada, we have teachers are going on strike as well. And it's funny again, every time Mercury goes retrograde into Sagittarius, teachers go on strike. Okay, teachers could be any unionized teachers under any union. Some of them either college teachers and professors, some of them elementary and secondary school teachers, depending on the union. All right, so but now we have one of the provinces, which is, I'm not going to mention which one, teachers are going on strike of a certain union. All right, and yes, Sagittarius rules teachers and higher education. All right, this is what's happening here in Canada. Okay, and this seems to be dragged for longer and longer. I would say even after November the 29th, even after the post-retrograde period. All right. Now, as I said, Mercury is in opposition to Uranus. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, and entering into the sign that is in opposition to the sign it rules, which means it's in detriment. I don't need to repeat myself, I've already mentioned that. But yeah, it will be affecting all mutable signs, but Pisces and Scorpio will be getting the blessings of Jupiter. Now you might say, why Sagittarius is not getting the blessings of Jupiter? Well, Jupiter, yes, rules Sagittarius, but it's not forming any trine. All right, it's probably going to be of less effect than Mercury and Gemini in terms of intensity but the problem is Sagittarius is right where Mercury is. Okay, is right in the opposition or on the face opposing Uranus. So I'm sorry, it's going to be affecting Sagittarius nonetheless. All right, so Uranus rules over space, anything related to cosmos and galaxies, astronomy, astrology, advancement in technology, the electrical system, electricity in general. Uranus also essentially is the higher octave of Mercury, and I've mentioned that multiple times. All right, so whatever Mercury rules, Uranus is the higher octave, rules more. It's triple effect of it. And when they come in opposition, remember before I mentioned, guys, when Mercury, especially in Gemini, we need to keep a close eye on Mercury. So anything Uranus does in Gemini, we have to watch where Mercury and what's Mercury's doing in order to have better understanding of how Uranus is going to impact us. All right, so Uranus, as I said, rules electricity and the World Wide Web. The WWW means the internet. And Uranus also rules all futuristic thinking, innovations, and scientific breakthroughs. So all the above everything I mentioned is going to be affected by this opposition. Now, if you notice, guys, carefully, and I'm still on the October 29th, I haven't even entered into November, and I haven't talked about when Mercury actually goes in retrograde, which is November the 9th. But once again, the energy is building up, all right? We are in the energy now is getting worse and it's getting intensified. What you notice from everything I mentioned, guys, there's a common denominator. What's the common denominator between Sagittarius, Mercury, and Gemini, and so was Uranus? There's something in common. Okay, if you studied statistics and discrete math and algebra, you understand what a denominator means and the common denominator. The common denominator here is that related to space, travel, and speeches, communication. That's what's connecting, or what's common between Sagittarius, Uranus, Gemini, Virgo, and so is Aquarius. All right. And I have to say also travel and aeroplanes. And I said space. All right. Yeah. So which means the sectors or the industries that's going to be affected the most by this opposition, what I've just mentioned. All right. So, we need to pay close attention to Uranus and Mercury, because Mercury is in the pre-retrograde period, is going to retrograde, and Uranus is retrograde already. So, and they are opposing one another. So how this aspect can manifest in real life? Well, this aspect speaks of mouth diarrhea. What does that mean? Means literally verbal diarrhea, speaking or saying nonsense. Okay? Sagittarius likes to speak, likes to express its mind. All right? All Sagittarians, they're funny, they're witty, but they speak a lot, they talk a lot. They like to express themselves. Now, with Mercury scattered here, with Mercury scattered energy opposing Uranus, this is mouth diarrhea. And mental diarrhea means the energy is going to be scattered, confusing, not knowing what to say, verbal abuse, verbal accusations, lies, rumors, deception, making up stories, lies, literally. Okay? Lies. Okay? Verbal abuse, 100%. Accusations. You gotta understand, guys, whatever you say around this time, it can be taken back. Okay? So if you say something of accusatory nature, you can't take it back. Even if you apologize, you just can't. All right? So, mouth and mental diarrhea, the communication style, be potentially blunt or lack tact. It will be tactless. Okay? Scattered, not focused. Verbal abuse, heated arguments, heated debates, scattered mental energy, impulsive decisions, speaking, remember also that Mars is very close. So there is going to be impulsive and hasty decisions, impulsive and hasty, actions taken as well. It's under the influence of the scattered mental energy that's formed by this opposition between Mercury and Uranus. All right. So, speaking your mind with no fear, to the point that you're going to come off very intimidating to others. And this is very self-explanatory. threats. And I mean like literally threats. Threats even through emails, text messages, posting something online that's inappropriate. Once again, I go back to rumors and impulsive communication, okay? Coming off as being very defensive, combative, confrontational, and this is also the energy, not only the energy of Mercury retrograde opposing Uranus, but also because Mars is very close. Mars is following Mercury, all right? And in retrograde in Sagittarius. And when I speak about particular signs, you gotta watch those signs, guys. If you're dealing with people, okay, or if you are a sign that you are 0 degree up till 7 degrees of Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, and late degrees Aquarius and Scorpio, please watch out, and Taurus, please watch out. You'll be affected the most by this energy, all right? You're going to be very defensive, combative. You're going to come off confrontational. You're going to come off you're speaking, being very blunt to the point that people are going to perceive you as very intimidating, threatening them, all right? The energy is going to be very disruptive because Uranus is in the mix. Uranus rules disruptive, unpredictable events. All right? And we can see on the universal or on the, what's happening on the mundane level, all right? What's happening, for example, in between US and Canada. Okay, Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, what's happening in the social media was using false, Ronald Reagan's comments about trades and about taxations and tariffs in the media. And it was false. It wasn't true. Remember, Mercury in the retrograde motion, okay, opposing, the energy is building up. I can't emphasize it enough, guys. Opposing Uranus, and it's going into Sagittarius. And this triggered, triggered who? Triggered Trump, who was a Leo and Gemini. So Trump now is threatening of increasing the tariffs by 10% against Canada. Because of the idiot, Doug Ford is what Doug Ford is doing, the Premier of Ontario, using false information, all right? This triggered Gemini, Leo, which is Trump, right? He said he's going to make the trade, or make it even impossible, all right? Make it even worse, increase the tariffs, increase the taxes on trade between US and Canada. Trump got really, really upset about it. Once again, I can't emphasize it enough, guys. The energy is getting intensified. All right. Now, what's this going to affect also related to Mother Nature? Tsunami, hurricanes, rainstorms, plane crashes, accidents on the road, issues related to transportation system. And the most important thing that we've all heard of, and I'm going to rephrase, or I'm going to digress here. Maybe not everybody heard of 3i Atlas, but I'm going to speak about it right now, and you're going to see on the charts on that I'm going to post on this video related to 3i Atlas. All right. So, what's a 3i Atlas as you see in the chart, all right? 3i Atlas, it's according to NASA, all right? This is not my words, this is according to NASA. And you see all the charts that I'm posting on the video here, they're all taken from NASA website too. It's credited to NASA, all right? So 3i Atlas, according to NASA, is a comet. okay, is a comet coming from other galaxy. It doesn't belong to our solar system. It's coming from other solar system. It's beyond our solar system. And it's headed towards our solar system. It's headed towards the sun. Now, there is a scientist, a Harvard physics scientist named Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb says, and because of the nature of this comet, he's claiming, or he's saying, is this could be very much an alien mothership coming with a message to humanity, to humans on planet Earth. Why Avi Loeb saying that? And there are so many videos of Avi Loeb explaining his theory and why he thinks it could be very much an alien spaceship. Because now, once again, why I'm focusing, and because I told before I speak about what Avi Loeb, the scientist, the physics scientist of Harvard, what he said and why he thinks it's an alien mothership, NASA saying that this comet will come very close to our sun by the 28th of October, just a few days away from the 28th of October. And remember, Mercury and Uranus, especially Uranus, rules the galaxies, the cosmos, the space. All right, and these two, and Mercury is the messenger of God. Mercury in the Greek mythology and other ancient civilizations was considered to be the messenger of God, the messenger between the gods, between these planets, Jupiter and Pluto, Uranus, and other outer planets. So this physics scientist saying it's alien mothership that coming to our planet Earth with a message to us, Mercury. And Uranus is, once again, the ruler of space and galaxies and cosmos and aliens as well, anything related to astronomy, astrology, and so on and so forth. The, that realm, that, outer realm, that space realm, okay, or the metaphysical realm. So, and they're opposing one another. This comet is coming once again very close to us, very close to the sun by the 28th of October. And 28th of October, 29th of October, Mercury come to exact opposition to Uranus, exact 0 degree, an erratic degree. Now, I don't really think that this opposition or the message that coming to us, it's going to be causing harm, physical harm to our planet, all right? But I do believe that we're going to see hurricanes, rainstorms, in certain areas, tsunami, floods, right? And I also see crashes, plane crashes. I also see some other Mother Nature events that's going to be affecting us. The electricity system is going to be affected. The internet, the World Wide Web is going to be affected. There are going to be glitches, all right? And once again, that's why Avi Loeb saying this is a message coming to us from the aliens that are coming from other dimensions, all right? Now, why Avi Loeb also saying that? Because normally, and if you're more than welcome to do more research about it, guys. And I've done lots of research about it. I'm not going to post anything. And as I said, all these, charts that you see on the screen here, they're taken from NASA. And you can see the difference. If you can do research on other comets coming from our solar system, our inner solar system. This comet is different. The difference between this comet and our solar system comets is this one dominated by carbon monoxide instead of water vapor. So this comet is producing gases, heat, and dust. That's metal-rich gases, all right? And this shown by the infrared readings. These gases, as you see in the chart, it's actually in front of the comet, not behind it. Usually, the comet that comes from our inner solar system, it comes with a water vapor behind, looks like as a tail of the comet. But this particular comet, the gases, or this glow, which is technically composed of metal-rich gases, it's in front of the comet, pointing towards the sun. And other scientists, in a joke, said it looks like a headlight towards the sun. But it's literally, this glow is coming in front of the comet, not behind it. So that's why Avi Loeb saying that this is so different than the normal or the regular, what we used to kind of comets that's coming from our inner solar system. Okay, so this is once again the reason why Avi Loeb, this Harvard physics scientist, claims that this could be very much an alien spaceship or mothership, all right, coming with a message to planet Earth, with all this glow and gases pointing towards the sun. Personally, as intuitive spiritual, an empath and clairvoyant, I once again remind you of that we are in a Pluto in Aquarius era, which is going to last for the next 20 years. And the beauty about all of this, that Pluto is forward now. Okay, Pluto is no longer retrograde. So Pluto is at 1 degree 25 minutes. This is an Aries degree in the sign of Aquarius that's ruled by Uranus. Uranus at 0 degree retrograde and is forming an opposition with the messenger of God. Do you see the correlation here between these three? And that's why I said that the signs that's going to be mostly affected by this are Aquarius, Scorpio, because Pluto also involved here. Pluto rules Scorpio, Uranus rules Aquarius, and Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So do you see the common denominator here between all of these? So Pluto is direct in the sign of Aquarius. That talks about innovation and futuristic science and advancement in technology, astrology and astronomy, and the hidden realm, the mystic, the esoteric realm. So for me, as a spiritual empath and clairvoyant, I see that there are star seeds coming from other dimensions. They're going to be born here on planet Earth for the first time. And these star seeds going to create a complete different reality than the reality we lived in for many, many, many years. We all know that not all of us are reincarnated on planet Earth. There are older civilizations, like Atlantis, for example, all right? They belong to planet Earth and they reincarnated on planet Earth, but there are other star seeds lived different realities and lived in different dimensions, came to planet Earth. Now this new, or this comet, or whatever you want to call the alien mothership, it's going to bring new star seeds from other dimensions beyond our solar system, and they're going to be born. These are souls, all right? Souls coming from other dimensions. They are going to be incarnated on planet Earth now for the first time. They're coming, they are very advanced more than us. They are helping us to evolve and advance. They are changing our reality. And everything I speak of is all destined. It's all fated. It's all determined by a certain timeline, divine timing, to create the change. Why I'm talking about the change creation here? Because if we switch now, and let me just pause for a second. So in the previous segment, guys, and I'm sorry I had to pause because I got a text, but in the previous segment, I spoke about a change. I spoke about 3i Atlas that's going to bring starseeds, souls from other dimensions beyond our solar system, to be born here on planet Earth during Pluto is direct in Aquarius. And around the time of the opposition between Uranus and Mercury, as you see in the chart here. To bring or to create the change. This is something destined. It has divine timing to it, timeline, and it has to be fulfilled by the divine. All right? And guys, this grand water trine is facilitating all of this, the birth of these souls on planet Earth. Now remember, these souls that they're coming through this comet, all right, or whatever the alien mothership that's carrying on its, surface. You want to call them aliens, by all means. To me, they are souls. They are starseeds coming from other planets. They're very advanced, way much advanced than us, but they are going to be incarnated on planet Earth to bring up a message, to create the change. This is the chart of November the 4th, and then I'm going to show you the chart of November the 5th. You see here, Mercury is at 5 degrees. This is November 4th. You see also here, Mars at 29 degrees 59 minutes in exact opposition to Uranus. Be careful of this energy, guys. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it when I see Mars and Uranus in square or opposition. This is the worst aspect. Mars and Uranus square or opposition or conjunction are the worst aspects. Aspects of a gigantic explosion. And look, guys, think about it. To create space to newborn, advanced souls on planet Earth. Remember, your sun sign is your soul. Comes to planet Earth to be born. That's what your sun is. All right? So anybody is born around this time, these are starseeds coming, or souls coming from other dimensions. They're very advanced. Their reality is different than ours. And in order for the divine to make space for these souls, other souls need to die. All right? Other souls need to end, because their timing has ended already. Pluto. All right? And Pluto, it trines Uranus, if you see here in the chart. Pluto trines Uranus death and rebirth, sudden. We will hear of lots of deaths due to this explosion or explosive event. Now, once again, this explosive event could transpire as tsunami, a building that's going to be completely come down due to either earthquake or a flood, not necessarily a building, but the death is going to happen through a destruction of a building, a use of war weapons, okay? I don't think nuclear weapons, but could be, all right? We don't know yet. It could be, once again, the deaths could happen due to a tsunami, a flood, a hurricane, accidents on the road. Something is going to be happening, something that's unpredictable, all right? Explosion, murder. So there are going to be deaths. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Yes, there are going to be deaths. To make space for this new souls that are coming to planet Earth. And I hate to say it. Remember that Mars, that rules wars and fighting and aggression, is chasing Mercury. So there are going to be murders as well, killings, due also to plane crash. And as I'm speaking this, I'm channeling. I haven't looked at the news yet, all right? And this particular part of the video, I'm recording it on the 26th, Sunday morning. I haven't watched the news, but I am channeling this, so I strongly feel that there is some sort of explosion happened somewhere, explosive event. I feel it, and I'm pretty sure if I go back to the news now and check, I would have probably heard something or see something. This Pluto, Uranus trine and Mars, Uranus and Mercury, Uranus opposition will trigger explosion, unpredictable, shocking, explosive event, which will lead to death. Anything, either through Mother Nature or actual accidents. All right? I'm all goosebumps right now. I'm all shaking while I'm talking about this because the energy is very strong. I feel it. And I am actually even getting very emotional, and I'm grateful that I'm actually grateful that I'm not on camera, because I just feel the energy is very strong. All right? Yes, there are going to be a new starseeds coming to our planet Earth. They're creating a tremendous amount of change. Look here, guys. Number 5, Mercury on November the 4th going to be at 5 degrees and 6 minutes. All right. If you look on November the 5th, all right. This is the chart of November the 5th. Number 5 again. Mars is coming to exact opposition with Uranus. We will have also on this day a full moon in Taurus at 13 degrees. 13 degrees is ruled by Aries. And Mars, which coming to exact opposition with Uranus, rules Aries. November the 5th. Full moon in Taurus at 13 degree ruled by Aries. Mars, which is coming to exact opposition to Uranus, is at 0 degree ruled by Aries. So we have a full moon ruled by Aries, 0 degree ruled by Aries, and Mars rules Aries, and Mercury is at 5 degree. Five is in spirituality and in numerology is all about change. All right. Number 5 is indicative of change. And if you look at here, guys, you will see Venus in the sign that it rules at an erratic degree, 28 degree and 15 minutes. That's almost 29 degree. This is an erratic degree at the end of Libra. Venus is at the sign that it rules at an erratic degree. Is on the top of what? Of the yod. You see the yod here at the very top, created by Venus, and on the other sides there's Uranus, the retrograde Uranus, which is in opposition to Mars, and there's also Neptune at an erratic degree in Pisces. And the finger of God, or the yod, is all about destiny, fate. It's God is pointing with the finger and saying, it's time, it's divine timing, it's the time for destiny. Something big is happening. And look, guys, when I say November 5th, Mercury at 5 degree and this and that, and November 4th and this, the energy is building up. Do I expect something to happen on the 5th or the 4th? Yes. But once again, it could happen. There's stuff that's going to happen even prior to that. Prior to the 5th. The energy is getting intensified by the 5th. The closer we get into the 5th, the closer we get to exact degrees, like this opposition between Mars and Uranus, the energy is getting intensified. It's getting worse. It's an opposition between malefic planets, Uranus and Mars. And Mercury is in the mix, messenger of God. So there is a message to us here, is to pay attention, is to expect the unexpected, is to expect the change. It's going to be explosive, it's going to be unpredictable, and it's going to be very scary. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to scare you, but be prepared. There's something is coming and it's very scary. This could manifest, as I mentioned before, any explosion in Mother Nature anger, tsunami, hurricane, earthquake, plane crashes, destruction of buildings, deaths, 100%. I'm not saying everybody's going to die, but they're going to be death as a result of all these explosive events that could happen in any place of the world. All right? Or due to war. Casualties, chaotic events that's going to happen. All right? That's going to result into casualties, shedding of blood, murders, suicide. Uranus rules suicide. All right? Now, once again, this is a full moon in Taurus, a fixed sign at 13 degree, ruled by Aries, and Mars at 0 degree, also ruled by Aries. Even though the moon is exalted in in Taurus, but the moon or Taurus is in opposition to Scorpio, and the sun also at 13 degrees. So the moon and the sun, that's what the full moon is, are both in opposition to one another, and the earth is in the middle here. Okay, Scorpio and Taurus are fixed signs. So this energy will be affecting fixed signs the most, who are 4 or 5 degrees away from 13 degree from both directions. So when I say that, means from, I would say, 8-9 degree of Taurus up to 18 degree of Taurus. And so was Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. And that's why I said earlier, Aquarius is going to be affected regardless any degree of Aquarius, because it's ruled by Uranus. But not only fixed signs, Aries is going to be affected as well. Why? Because the ruler of Aries, which is Mars, is in exact opposition to Uranus, and the degree where this full moon is happening is at 13 degree, and Aries rules 13 and 0 degree. I honestly feel that Aries is in the mix of every single aspect that's happening so far this year, since we've had the solar eclipse in Aries early this year. Remember that Saturn and Neptune are entering into Aries next year. And Saturn and Neptune now are in the 12th house of Aries. So there is a gigantic change for all Aries nonetheless. My heart goes with you, Aries. All Aries. You're very much affected by this energy. Now, the ruler of this full moon, and I will speak about this full moon further in another episode, but the ruler is Venus, and Venus is forming this destiny yod, or the yod that brings destiny, and this finger of God that's pointing, hey, I'm telling you, the change is coming. You never listened. But hey, you need to heal the past. You need to share. You need to compromise. You need to sympathize. You need to empathize. You need to care, nurture, love others. It's not only about me, myself, and I. You need to be generous. You need to share the blessings. You will notice here that Venus is getting away from the square with Jupiter, because Venus also is forming a T-square with Venus is headed towards, Scorpio. So the energy of the square that Venus is forming with Pluto is intensified, because the energy of this T-square from this side here, where Jupiter is separating, the energy when two benefics like Venus and Jupiter forming a square is not bad. It's just urging us, because these are two benefic planets, it's urging us to share the wisdom, share the wealth, share the prosperity, okay, with family, with people. Be generous, be kind, reciprocity. That's what the energy of the square between Venus and Jupiter versus the energy of the square between Venus and Pluto is very intense. It's very deep, it's rooted deep, or it's deep rooted. It's going to the core. It's pain. It's like Pluto's telling Venus, Do you remember that pain that you've had the other day? That abusive relationship? Because Venus is all about relationship, right? And I'm not talking necessarily here about feminine, divine feminine. Divine feminine. I'm talking about anyone has feminine energy, because all of us, whether divine or masculine, divine or I can't even talk, because I don't know. There's just so much coming up, so much I'm challenging, so much downloads that I can't even focus. All right. It doesn't have to be a divine feminine only or females. It's also touching on masculine energy and divine masculine and males, men. All right. We all have both energy, feminine and masculine. So it's like Pluto is digging deep into past wounds, past trauma, hidden, maybe it could be abusive relationship, maybe something you've experienced in the past that causing that, not fear, all right, but it's more of healing that fear and overcoming that fear and accepting the new reality, accepting the newness. Because remember, Pluto is, you can't give birth to something if the old is still alive. The old has to die. Pluto is about death and rebirth. So the old needs to die in order for the new to be born. And that's what Pluto is doing. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. All right? So this is the square between Venus and Pluto. This is the energy we're going to feel. And to me, this is not really a very good omen that's coming from this full moon in Taurus. Because once again, even though the moon is exalted in Taurus and Venus is in her rulership sign, so these two, sorry for this huge scribble, okay, these two are in full power. The moon is in full power, okay, or full force forward, and Venus is in full force as well. Venus rules the moon, and in her exaltation, in the sign that she rules, and the moon is in the sign that it's exalted in Taurus. And Venus rules the moon here. Venus forming a square. It's a T-square, but it's intensified by Pluto. And it's emphasizing death and rebirth, and emphasizing sympathy, empathy, generosity, and reciprocity from this side by Jupiter squaring Venus. Don't be selfish, Venus. That's what Jupiter's saying. So this is a call to all astrologers that they're talking about embracing the feminine or the divine feminine and this BS. I'm sorry. I am not a feminist, and I don't like this from other astrologers. I don't like to hear this from other astrologers, because it's not only about divine feminine, it's also, because if you're talking about Venus that represent divine feminine, well, hey, Jupiter and Pluto are representation of divine masculine. So it's not only about the divine feminine, it's also about the divine masculine. It's not about embracing the power struggle between the feminine and the masculine. What are we going to gain out of this? Please stop promoting division. Stop promoting feminism. All right? And I know there are astrologers who are watching my channel. I know that. Stop embracing the power struggle between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and instead, because that's what Jupiter and Pluto are calling for. Jupiter and Pluto are calling for reciprocity, the death of the old belief. I am the divine feminine. I am in charge. I'm sorry, that's Lilith energy. That's not Venus energy. Lilith is demonic energy. And yes, Lilith is close to the sun here in the sign of Scorpio, but we're not here embracing Lilith. And don't try to glue, and I mean literally the word glue, Lilith energy into Venus. Venus is a benefic, is a lesser benefic, but she's empowered by Jupiter, and there's a call here to share, to seek justice and fairness. And the old belief need to die in order for the new paradigm to be reborn. Remember that 3i Atlas is coming with new souls coming from other dimensions that they're out of our solar system to be reborn on planet Earth. Around this time, around the time of Pluto and Aquarius, advancement, exponential advancement. So in order for this to happen, the old need to die. All right? I can't emphasize it enough, guys. And as I mentioned, on November the 5th, we will have this full moon in Taurus. Mercury will be at 5 degrees on November the 5th. Also, Mars is forming exact opposition to Uranus. And as I mentioned, this is indicative of change, of a phoenix rising from the ashes, of an explosive event that's going to happen, maybe related to, something of motherly nature, right? Something that's, it's destined, regardless. Whether it's an actual crash, a destruction, a building that's going to crumble, destroyed, or it's an earthquake or tsunami, hurricane, flood, whatever, rainstorm, whatever it is, it's going to happen. It's meant to happen. It's going to create change. It's a death and rebirth. And in order to make space for the newness, something new to happen, an old paradigm or old souls need to die for new souls to come on planet Earth. Now, what does number 5 mean in numerology and the spiritual meaning of number 5? Number 5 is the number of freedom and curiosity, is the number of change, sudden change. Remember, Mercury also is about curiosity. And Uranus is about change, sudden change. All right? And liberation, freedom. Number 5 also is a number of adventure, a transformation across various spiritual and religious traditions. That's what number 5 is. Number 5 in Judaism, for example, is linked to 5 books of Torah and the 5 commandments on each of the tablets. In Christianity, is linked to God's grace, grace upon grace. In Islam, it's linked to 5 pillars and 5 prayers. So do you see how strong is number 5? Number 5 also, if you remember, the Ace of Pentacles and the Pentacles cards in Tarot, they are represented by a 5-pointed star, which is associated with the 5 elements. and with achieving a balance between our animal nature and our spiritual self. Balance. When you achieve a balance between the 5 elements, each one of us has 5 elements. All right? When you achieve balance between the 5 elements, you create abundance and prosperity in your reality. What does that mean? It means that, and that's the symbolism of the pentacle in tarot cards, right? What are the 5 elements, first of all? The 5 elements are earth, water, fire, air, and spirit, or ether. Okay, spirit. So it's not only about our animal desires, it's also about our spiritual higher selves. All right? So guys, prepare for this energy from now. This energy is very potent. Things gonna be very shocking. All right? And it's building up. It's going to be very instant. There isn't going to be, because it involves Uranus, there isn't going to be signs. Things going to happen all of a sudden. You're probably going to get a phone call just like Mercury, or a text message, or an email, or you check the social media or the mainstream media or whatever, and you hear the news. You learn the news. Something shocking happened. And I'm sorry, as I said, for some it's going to bring up death. There is going to be casualties and death. All right? To make space for the newness to happen, to come to planet Earth. And it's going to last for a couple of days after November 5th. Why I'm saying that? Because remember, Mercury is going to be in retrograde. As you see in the chart here, this is the chart of November the 7th. November the 7th, you see here Pluto is coming to exact square with Venus. All right, Venus is getting away from Jupiter. It's still a T-square. It's separating from Jupiter, but it's coming to exact square with Pluto. All right. And Mars still in forming a conjunction. Now, Uranus entered into, as you see in the chart here, into Taurus, 29 degrees and 59 minutes. This is November the 7th. All right. Mars still in opposition to Uranus. And yeah, so this is on November the 7th. On November the 9th, when we will have Mercury station retrograde in the sky, or comes in a full stop and then station retrograde on November the 9th. All right, and as I said earlier, Mercury will be in retrograde motion until the 29th of November, but on the 19th of November, Mercury will be entering into Scorpio. Mercury will be at 6 degrees when it comes to a full stop in the sky. And sorry guys, this is November the 12th. Okay? But why I'm showing you November the 12th? Because once again, while Mercury is in retrograde, Mercury will be forming another conjunction with Mars on November the 12th. Remember earlier when I said Mars is chasing Mercury. All right. So on November the 12th, Mars and Uranus and Mercury, once again, sorry for the typo, verbal typo, Mars and Uranus, and I keep saying Uranus because I am getting so many downloads and messages that there is something shocking is happening very soon. All right? And yes, Mercury and Uranus are still in the opposition energy, even though it is dissipating. But the thing is, Mars and Mercury are forming an exact conjunction in the sign of Sagittarius. All right? So whatever happened in Scorpio between Mars and Mercury, that conjunction that happened in Scorpio, it's going to now, it's like the second level or stage of that conjunction, which is more intense. And then Mercury, so there's something. When Mercury enters back into Scorpio on the 19th of November, Mercury will revisit whatever happened during that first conjunction between Mars and Mercury. So this is the second level, second stage of that volatile or hostility, violence, whatever it is, it's going to be revisited. And once again, it doesn't have to happen on the same day. The energy is building up. All right? Now, the opposition between, let me go back to October 29th, when we will have the exact opposition. And it's funny, it's happening around Halloween here, because we have Halloween end of October, okay? And all these events is going to happen around Halloween. But anyways, going back to the exact opposition that's going to happen between Mercury and, Uranus, and then it's going to intensify as Mars getting into the mix, as you see in the chart here, on November 4th and November 5th. And the energy, once again, is building up. It could also transpire as a mental diarrhea. So I mentioned that before, a mouth diarrhea. I don't know if I said mental. So what does mental diarrhea mean? Lots of ideas, lots of rumors, lots of lies, lots of accusations. It could be, it could be positive in terms of, intelligent views and ideas. Okay, configuration, or troubleshooting, or like something, figuring out puzzles and mystery, something mysterious, something was hidden. It's going to come to a surface, okay? But you have to take a precaution, though, okay? Because this can be very confusing to others. This can come off as threats to others, like, oh, this person is very intelligent, this person is smart, this person knows a lot, this person is going to find out what I've been hiding, this person is going to expose lots of truths, lots of information that I don't want this person to know, okay, or expose. Because what's intelligent or intelligence in a broadened spectrum, it can be perceived as a threat to others. At the end, guys, I mentioned before, and I mentioned it many times, as long as Uranus is, and you see how many times I'm being mixing up words, guys, and talking about different planets, because all these planets are intertwined. All these planets are related to one another. The energy is very intertwined. All right. But my point here is whenever, or for the next 7 to 8 years, while Uranus is in Gemini, we need to watch Mercury because Mercury rules Gemini. Okay. And the other thing also that I want to touch base on, if you have experienced any sort of physical abuse recently during Mercury and Mars conjunction happened in Scorpio last week, be careful. This is not going to end. This is going to, as I said 5 minutes ago, it's going to go to a next level or stage number 2, which is going to be more intensified, more intense, more volatile. If you've experienced abuse by somebody, this is not going to end, guys. It's not. Who abused you once going to abuse you twice and thrice and so on and so forth. The abuser thinks that when you forgive them, to them means you're allowing them to abuse them. That's what it means, because they're abusives. They're toxic. They're psychotic. Okay? They are psychopaths. They're narcissists. They're taking it as you're allowing them to abuse them, to abuse you. All right? When you forgive them. Take note of that. Remember that. And Mercury going to revisit that degree or that abusive behavior that happened when both Mercury and Mars happened in the conjunction that happened in Scorpio. Mercury is going to revisit it again when Mercury re-enters into Scorpio in a retrograde motion. Going to revisit that degree. Remember that degree, it was at 24 or 25 degree, happened in Scorpio. All right? And the energy is building up to that next stage of Mercury and Mars retrograde, conjunction. Mercury retrograde and Mars will come to a conjunction on November the 12th at 6 degrees and 4 minutes. 6 degrees is a Virgo degree. The first conjunction happened in Scorpio was at 24, 25 degrees. Scorpio. Now it's going to be at 6 degrees. All right. That's what I have for you guys. I'm gonna try to do a quick tarot reading, but this video is going to be long, and I really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, help the channel grow by sharing and liking the video, and I'll see you in the next one.